love me so much, and they admire me that much, or should I say appreciate me that much, it's heavy,
Yeah.
that weight. Do you understand? And because you don't want to disappoint them. Do you understand? And I've disappointed. I feel, and me and my siblings have had this conversation. I've had moments where I've had to shut the fuck down. I couldn't no longer be Safira, Big Saf, your sister, that saves everything and saves the day and can fix everything. I couldn't even fix myself. I was breaking into a million pieces, and so, and I don't think they understood that, and I don't think I understood them a lot of the time either. And that's where the breakdown came, and then we managed to come back together, and we still have breakdowns, but I just, like you said, we're conditioned into that, and you're right. It's not normal, is it? Like
Yeah,
that.
like it's
The
just
roles
you
you
just
took
sort
on.
of do it, but even like now, I know at the time you said that's what you had to do, and your siblings look at you as, you know, this role model. But how do you then protect yourself from being like sort of mentally burnt out? Because the reason why I ask that is because a lot of the time when people see us as this particular, like, oh, you're so strong, this and that, and we kind of own it, but at the same time we've got to be careful because you also need to put boundaries for yourself as well.
I've
You
learned
can't
that.
always be like, you can be strong, but you can also have you can also like have your moment of vulnerability, and it doesn't take away from that. But a lot
Yeah.
of the time when people kind of see you as, oh yeah, you're this person that you always got a back, they don't see the other side. So how do you manage that?
I used to manage it really well. I don't anymore. I just
Really?
get really anxious and start feeling really overwhelmed, and I shut down and I put my phone on do not disturb, and I just tell everyone I need a moment, and that I just that for now that's how I'm doing it. Whereas before it was just like, bro, suck it up, innit? Like, you okay,
Mm.
you feel overwhelmed, but get over it, bro. Like, and now I question who saves the hero. Okay, like where
Yeah,
does
it's
that
true.
you
That's
get
true.
it? But then that's what I'm saying. Like my friends, um, I don't know what I'd do without those people. Like they are a
Yeah.
phenomenal bunch of people, and just as much as the same thing for my siblings. But again, like I said, with my siblings, I almost feel, and it's sad because I've had to almost separate myself from them a lot because I don't really want them to see me vulnerable. I don't think it's fair on them. I think they've seen enough. So
Mm.
I don't want them to see me fall. But I broke. I think it was in March or something. I was at my dad's house. He was teasing me. I can't, it was normal shit, just getting on my nerves.
Mm.
And I was just like, I swear it was his
Yeah.
birthday even. I can't, was it February? Yeah, it was one of them, February, March. And my sister right after me, Jade, and her and I are intertwined. If she feels, I can feel. And
Yeah.
if I feel, she can feel. It's the same with my mum, actually. When I got on the plane to Portugal on Christmas Eve, there was a feeling I got about my mum, and I was ringing her phone, even while the plane was taking off, and I know I shouldn't be on this phone,
Yeah.
and I'm ringing her because I felt, and she wouldn't answer the phone. But we'll get to that anyway. But Jade looked at me and she was like, what's wrong? Safira, because my family says my name differently to everybody else. And I said, Daddy's just getting on my nerves. Like, she pokes me again. Stop that, man. You know, as you're doing it, like,
Yeah.
fuck off, man. You lot all annoying. Like, you know, like that, like, I can't stand you lot. And then she just pulls me into her chest. Never, like, me and her are not affectionate. Like, we're not. We used to scrap. We're scrappers. We don't have time for that. Like, our affection is, you get me? That's it. Like,
What's the age gap between you
one
guys?
year, literally.
Okay, so
Like,
we're more or less, yeah.
yeah,
That's
we're like my dad grew up like boys. Like my dad used to throw us in the sea. Okay, swim. You know, like climb that tree, go get that coconut. Like that's my dad. He's like he made us very rough in it and very like. So we don't do that whole like when I see other sisters, I'm like you lot are proper nice to each other. All we do is cuss each other. Yeah, that's our love language. But pulls me into her chest. And I broke out of nowhere. It's like I felt a release, like I can be weak now.
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
tears in her chest, I wet my sister's top. And then she picked me up, like she got me up, still head in her chest, and I'm taller than her, you know. And like I'm bending over to her chest, and I just didn't want. And she walks into my dad's room and follows my dad, follows my other sister, follows my brother. And Jade sits on the floor opposite me and looks at me, and I'm looking at her like this, and the tears are just streaming down my face, and hers are now also. And she goes, see it. And then my dad walks in and says, "What's going on?" She goes, Dad, just sit down," because she knows how he gets. He'll banter. That's my dad's way of dealing with shit.
Okay,
It's banter,
yeah,
like
like
no
a-
stands. It's
yeah,
banter,
yeah.
like banter it off, laugh it off. She's Dad, just sit down, and he goes, "Okay," and he sits down, and she goes, "Dad, like she even didn't even look at him. She kept looking. She goes, "Dad, she's broken. I can see, Dad. Like we're gonna lose her if we don't." And I'm looking at her like, I ain't no weak. Like, you ain't gonna lose me, but I need help,
I ain't
innit?
weak.
Like you ain't gonna lose me. But it's like I got what she mean, as in mentally and emotionally,
Yeah,
they were gonna
yeah,
lose
yeah.
me. And so And I think at that moment he understood that this one that he taught to be the strongest, it's like, oh my days, if I don't, because it's not just mum's death, like it's the whole life of shit, man. Do you understand? There's so much more
Trust
behind
me,
that death.
Grief is
It's a mad thing, you know. And
it's
so
it's a lot. It's a lot.
mentally, you
It's
don't
a
realize.
Like, and like I don't mean to throw off your point, but
Right,
just
cool.
quickly, but I feel like if you don't kind of give yourself time and room to deal with it, listen, like even sometimes I won't say I'm mentally damaged, but sometimes I feel like, you know what, yeah, all it takes is one more, I don't know, maybe one more loss, one more trauma, and
Yeah, you're like here, innit?
that's it.
That's where I
And
feel
again,
I am right now. Like,
that's not me saying I'm suicidal, but
no,
it's like
of course not.
it's
Mentally,
like here it's like, you know, you just have a suitcase. It's just literally like the zip here. It's not even closing
yeah.
like properly. It's barely just closing. So it might just be like one more thing, just squeeze one more thing in, and that's it. And obviously, I don't want that. So that's why, like, you know, now I'm just trying to give myself more grace. And listen, stop worry about this whole, stop worrying about this whole, like, because I still do it. Like this, I still have toxic traits, toxic masculine traits. I'm like, nah. I'm not.
What would
I'm
you
not,
say
I'm
they
not
are?
weak. I'm just, sometimes I'm not. I still suffer in silence sometimes, even though I'm open about some things, but I'll be like, nah, you know what? That's too small. I can't really talk to these lot about that, or tell them I'm feeling. Let me just kind of firm it, deal with it.
That's what I mean about
just nah,
men,
we'll deal with it.
like
And,
you lot, yeah.
and it's like, and I think a part of me is kind of, because I feel like I have to be strong for others, or I don't want to be seen as weak. And I think, I don't know
That's
what
so
it is.
bad. I have the same thing. Do you know how bad that is? Like, how is it that us being vulnerable, for whatever reason it is, but most of all, like, because you're telling me I should be proud of myself. You've lost both your parents in the space of a year, and you're sitting here looking at me with your shoulders up, right, and with strength in your eyes. So you should be proud too. But that's not right.
But you
Like,
know what?
that masking.
And again, I don't mean to make it like a gender thing, but I feel like I'm supposed to get on with it.
No.
Do you know what I'm
You're
trying
not.
to say?
You're
Like,
supposed to deal with it, then get on with it.
like, and I'm supposed to, like, and even sometimes I feel like, oh, am I talking about my parents too much? And that's why kind of, for me, this space is important, because there's no sort of like too much of talking about them, like,
There
you know.
isn't.
But at times, but I feel like, I'll be honest, and again, I will have a lot of support from friends, but I feel like I can't talk to.
I don't like being a burden. That's
Yeah,
another-
same. I don't want to be like, oh, what's wrong with him now?
And then they're
Like,
there
so,
on the other phone, on the other side, rolling their eyes. Oh, here she
yeah,
goes
like,
again.
I don't
Not that they
want
do
to
that,
feel
but-
like it's mad. Yeah, I don't want anyone, whether that's friends or potential partners, say, oh, this guy's just so weak, man. Like, he's just bare soft, too emotional.
Because you lost your parents. Do you know
Like,
what kind of
but-
heartless human being it would take to say something like that?
It's crazy, and I'm segueing a bit here, yeah. But it's even just in things like when it comes to dating and stuff, I wouldn't. There'd be times when I, like, you know.
I agree with that to some capacity. I think when you're dating someone, they can know, you know, because the way you said it to me, that's probably how you'd say it to someone you were dating. You know, like, yeah, I've lost my. You spoke about it in such a matter of fact way.
It's so mad. It's like even like this. Like, I would. So when you're dating, like, you're talking. What do you like? What do you know? Where you from? Blah blah blah. What do you? And then obviously parents always come up somehow.
Right.
But someone asks me, oh, where are your parents? Oh, they're in Nigeria.
Really?
I mean, they are, because they're buried.
I know what you mean, though.
But they are. But that's it. That's all I give, because
you don't want them to know the part that.
Yeah, but I think my insecurity with that was because, oh, I don't want to scare anyone off too quick.
I was gonna say
because, you know, like, obviously in this day and age, obviously, like, oh, like, when it comes to dating and stuff, no one wants to be like, well, I can't speak for everyone, but I just want to. Oh, right, that's a bit too much. Right now, what, just getting to know you, I don't really want to know all of that. So
if you told me that the way you told me,
I would just leave it. I just wouldn't mention it, and then.
It's not like you're going on a date and then you're like, oh, where's your parents? And it's like
yeah, but
you're not doing that. So that's different. And respectfully, even if you did that, it would still take a really heartless person to be like, rah.
Yeah,
like,
but
you know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry to cut you, but
No,
I'm saying,
sorry.
like, you, like, that's sad because I feel the same. I won't tell people. I proper will not.
But you know what? I know why I'm saying that, but I'll let you. I know why I'm saying that.
Nah, go on.
Because and I don't know this for sure, but I feel like, okay, there has been occasions where, like, people have asked me and I've gone into it, like I've gone into it. I've said this is what I started a podcast about this and that, and I feel, and I don't know, maybe it's me being paranoid, and I feel like they've kind of like, okay, kind of just ghosted because of that. But again, listen, I'm not.
They weren't
like,
for you, and
but
I hear that.
and
Like,
do you know what it is? I'll never say to anyone like, listen, like if you're someone who doesn't want to do that, that's cool, that's cool. But that was just my insecurity. But I got to a place where actually, you know what? Yeah, I thought to myself, this is my reality. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not. What can I do? It's
let
not.
me tell
do
you
know what I mean?
something. You're gonna come across the right person, and that's not gonna scare them. That's gonna that the right for me. And I'm saying this to you. Like, we don't know each other personally, and I am so grateful you've given me the space to get to know you better and also to speak on this. But like, I'm manifesting this for you as I am for me. Whoever is the one, that will not scare them. They will look at you the way I looked at you when you told me walking up those stairs.
Yeah.
Wow, look at the strength in this man. Do you understand? That's how they're going to look at it. They're not going to look at it as something that makes you weak or makes you less than. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Or a burden. That's not human. I don't understand when did the world people stop.
But I don't know.
Human?
But you know, it's that as well.
I can appreciate if it like intimidates someone. Someone's like, I don't think I'm ready to
Yeah.
support someone through
cool.
something
Exactly.
that
That's
thing.
cool.
That's
I don't mind that. That's cool. It's just like, but I think for me, it's just like, it's not even just only that, but it's just like literally, I feel that whole loss of my, it's made me. I'm not saying I'm like.
I'm different.
Okay, I know. If I'm being honest with myself, I know I'm not. I can be sensitive. I know also can have moments of strength, but I feel like. No, I haven't really said this, but it's like I don't want to. This is gonna sound so crazy. It's not about what other people think, and I know that. But again, back to what I said, I just don't want to.
How people think of you implicates how you feel about yourself. So if you want to protect yourself from that, whatever it makes, because whether we like it or not, everyone does this. I don't care what people think. For the most part, I don't. But the truth is, all of us do to some capacity.
I just think it's just the whole idea of being too emotional. I just don't want that label from anyone.
That's
and
such a stigma.
I know, but especially like and again, it's not about like, especially like a potential partner. I just don't want to be like, okay, I'm with someone. I'm not saying this is the case now. Like, I'm just saying I just don't ever want to be in a position where like, you're too vulnerable.
I get it.
You're too like, are you even I know I'm a man. Like, but
I know what you're saying.
But these days, people move their goalpost. It's like even when we see online the banter thing. Oh yeah, if a guy does this, it's like we see. I know that's all banter and stuff.
It's so bullshit.
But it's like
I get it. You know, in every joke, there's some truth.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Saying,
but I just don't. And again, I'm not saying like, listen, who will be for me is for me, and it's not. I can only be myself in it. If I'm too, wear my heart on my sleeve too much, and it's not for anyone, and that's fine. I'm not slaying anyone. Even the people who've said, okay, this is too much for me. That's cool. But the only thing I don't want to do is not be myself, or I'm always kind of changing. Okay, maybe they will like this.
Yeah, like I don't think it's fair for you to walk on eggshells with what you're saying about your grief and your parents because of the sake of other people. However, I get why you do it because I do the same, and it's more so to protect myself, but to also protect them because I don't want to push people away. And I have the same everything I can relate to. I don't want people to think. I don't want a man to be like, oh my god, do you get it? Like or whatever. Like this like. And that's the problem. If someone was to think like that, though, then they're not for me. And I never bring it up straight away. Like, it's never it's never comes to mind when someone's getting to know me to tell them my mom's dead. Like, why would I say that?
But it depends how it's brought, though.
But if they say, like, let's say they're talking about their mum, and they'll be like, does yours the mum do the same thing or whatever? And I'll be like, yeah, man, she used to do mad stuff. Trust me, like, no.
But by the way, she's not here.
Yeah, I don't even say that. I'll just she used to do mad stuff because used to, innit? She don't do no more.
Yeah,
I'd say it like that. If they pick up on it, like, what do you mean used to? Like, it takes an attentive man to be like, what do you mean used to? Like, what are you talking about here? Where is she? Or like, because even when I'm like, I won't exactly say it, yeah. And then they'll prompt a question or ask me, and I'll be like, yeah, nah, because she passed away a couple of years ago. So, I'm really. They more want to think, and I'm just like, nah, it's cool, man. So anyway, you get it. Let's get on with the conversation. I don't want to. Yeah, it's not a therapy session. It's fine. Like, it's fine. Yes, I'm grieving. Yes, I miss her more than anything in the world. Yes, it's painful, but I just can't allow myself to like. Let everyone see me vulnerable like that because I just can't.
But you know what? Yeah, saying that, like, I feel like the thing is, it's cool. But that's one parent, but it's like oh, wow, both
I
parents.
know, that's what I was gonna say for you.
And then when I say both parents, and it's like, are you after each other? Oh wow, like it's like always like, but
Yeah.
like, no, I'm cool. I know, like, I'm good. I'll be like, yeah, I'm good. But it's like always
It changes
like,
the tone of the conversation.
So I think for a little while, I used to be like only say that one parent had passed. I didn't want people to feel extra sympathy. I didn't want that. Oh wow, both parents. Oh,
Pity,
poor you, innit? And I wouldn't say I felt that, but in my head, I think that was insecure. I just felt, I know people are probably right now.
Yeah, I'm not on the woes meeting. I
feeling
proper don't like
sorry
people
for this
feeling
guy
for
now.
Yeah.
Like, and I just thought, I'm not a victim. I know I'm not, but I think for that first maybe year or two, I just felt like, damn, what's going on? I mean, I'm like, okay. I even remember the day my mom passed. That morning, I was like, listen, God, I know I'm not perfect. I listen every Sunday. I know I haven't been there, but listen, pull her through. I got every Sunday. I'm good. I'll be going to church just to thank you, like, cause I know you pulled her through once. For a second time, yeah, that's like, and I was like, damn, okay.
Did you question God by any chance?
I was like, right, I was like, we've come on, man. Like, we prayed, man. Like, what's going on? I thought we had an agreement. I thought, like, everything's gonna be rosy, but. And I think, and again, I am religious, but I'm not like, I know, as I say, everything happens for a reason, but I was like, no, but right now, listen, I don't trying to hear that. I just want to know, like, I know it's kind of cheeky, why didn't I kind of get what I prayed for? But it doesn't work like that.
It's not cheeky.
It doesn't,
I get why you would have questioned it.
It doesn't work like that. It's like, I can go out today and help 10 old ladies cross the road. I don't know, do whatever. It doesn't mean just because I'm trying to be a good person. It doesn't mean that.
I still believe in karma. I still believe you get everything,
I mean?
But I just feel that maybe, and I think that's probably where your it is what it is, but everything happens for a reason. Perspective would have come in after that, because it's like, okay, so me and you had an agreement, and obviously
obviously what's going on?
So it's like everything happens for a reason. Like, I had to do the same thing, because if I'm not gonna sit down and question, I literally, like, I'm not joking, like, as much as I didn't cry in front of people, other than like the funeral and a couple odd occasions to really close people, like probably anxiety and stuff like that, I'd be on that floor in front. I still got my mum's urn, and I know it's not, like, a lot of people tell me it's not good to keep it at my house and stuff, but it's like my biggest source of comfort.
Where are you supposed to keep it though?
Exactly.
Like,
but obviously, like, our intent was to, like, separate the ashes.
Oh, okay.
Into like jewelry or their own little mini urns amongst my siblings. But then my grandma has a tomb in Portugal where she's going to be buried, and my great grandma's buried, so we're going to put the ashes in there. But obviously, I hope my grandma doesn't watch this, but I am teething some ashes still.
Wait, what? She has a tomb already?
Yeah, she's got a tomb because my great grandma has a tomb. My great grandma's dead. Okay. So they've got a big enough tomb to bury, both of them.
That's a real planning.
Yeah. My great grandma was not rampant. She's like, I'm going in style, y'all. And so, my mum can go in there. But she actually wanted her ash. Everything we did was what she wanted for her send off. Everything. And not that with me and my mum sat there and actually planned this. Like, just in case you die, fam. Let me write this down. It'll be in banter. Like, we'll leave the hospital appointments. Doctor will be like, Stella, you got 6 months to a year like this. Lay off the alcohol. Let your organs catch up, And because this woman thought she defeated death so many times, because she really did, in so many different ways, not even with health. That woman really defeated death. That woman had 9 lives, I'm telling you. So, you'd be told, and she'd be like, fuck them.
We got last laugh now.
So she would never listen, and like she would literally be like, like I said, we leave the hospital appointment, and it's like, mum, like, pattern up, and it's like, fuck them, I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want when I want it, when I want to do it. Do you know what I mean? But I even lost my point because I'm just getting so lost in her memories. I'm just getting so lost in her memory. But anyway, ultimately, I think that it was the urn. So that the urn, like I said, a lot of people say that it's a bad because she wants her ashes scattered in the sea in Portugal, and ultimately people say, the energy and things like that, but it's such a great comfort for me. Like, I sit there sometimes and I'll hold it and just break. And there was a time when she just had died where I was proper questioning God, like, and I was like, just like, why would you do this? Like, I just don't get it. Like, And then I'm like, how dare you even ask him that when there's like people dying every day for mad stuff that don't deserve it.
It's
Like,
true, but it's like, boy, we're human, like, and just because like we question things, it doesn't mean we're now like. I will never say, oh no, only blasphemy, or like, f you, da da da, da, like. But it's like I know. Listen, right now we can be angry, like even I remember a few last year I had a guy on the podcast and he was like saying even though I'm a Christian, but we can still question, we can still be
man,
angry. It's
I was
normal.
questioning everything. Like,
It's normal. Like it's not like I get it, but it's normal. But even but I was always wondered like, and even with you because my mom passed away like 2 weeks before birthdays. I was never really a birthday person. I
yeah.
didn't really like celebrating and stuff.
My mum loved my birthday. I hated it.
But 2 weeks before she passed, like on the 30th of October, so it'll be 6 years next month. Next month, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing birthdays again because
That's me.
it's,
You know why I do
it's
birthdays?
too close.
My
It's too
friends.
close.
Yeah, I agree.
It's too close.
I
Like,
can't do it. I don't
like-
want to celebrate anything that I have to celebrate without her. That's how I
it's
see
too
it.
close. And I know she would have been proud, even though like obviously at 10, 30 in lockdown, it wasn't the celebration I wanted, but I know she'd have been just happy. Oh yeah, oh my son's 30 or what, like, and I just knew. So it was kind of like bittersweet, but
So
I'm like, you know what, yeah, like it's mad because I'm just like. Sometimes I don't know how I'm doing it, and
She must be so proud of you. Like, I don't know, because like as much as again I know there's a stigma attached to men being strong. I don't want to mix the fact that there are actually like men that are just strong, and not because they're pressured into it or anything like that. But to me, you come across as one of those people, and I know it's been 5 years since mum, and then 6 since your dad, but I probably don't know how you're doing this. Like, I'm so like, honestly, because I don't meet a lot of people. I don't speak to a lot of people that have lost their parents at a young age, like me.
Yeah.
I'm 31, so we're pretty much the same age. But like, my mum went, nearly 3 years ago. Yours was earlier than that, and you're 1 year younger than me. So I just don't know how. Like, I can only imagine, but she must be so like if I was your mum, or if this was my son, and this was us, and I was looking down.
Yeah,
like,
no, I appreciate
big
it.
up my son,
And I would say it's mostly God, and there's a lot of support. Like I had my aunt, like she is, how do I even describe it? Like she just stepped up from the very first that we found out, right? Then doing her life admin, life insurance, this and that, calling this, the SWAT, this, even at a time when she's got her own life as well. Like she just stepped
up into that role and did what she had to do.
And
Big
like,
up my aunt as well, because
honestly,
my siblings, she raised my siblings because my mum was sick. My mum actually, my siblings left this country 10 years ago. Yeah, more than now. Actually, my son's nearly 10, probably about even 12 years ago or something like that. And my aunt took my siblings, 5 of my siblings in. Me and my sister Jade stayed here. We lived on our own. I've been living on my own since I was 17. And my mum, because my mum was she didn't have the capacity. And unfortunately, the social services fucking system in this country, can I just say that it's bullshit? It's utter fucking bullshit. You lot should be ashamed of yourselves. Because when mothers go to you for help, for the most part, I know there's good social workers and the system works for some people, but for the stuff I've heard, for the most part, and even having a best friend that is a social worker and works in the child services, even she is like, this is impossible to do my job. It's impossible to help people.
Most of the
they go
services
for
are
help.
corrupt.
They'll go. My mum went to them for help, and their immediate answer was take your kids away. You would have never known there was anything happening in that house. All she went to them and said, I just need either for more financial support to have a cleaner come in once a week to help me with ironing, and so I can also have, and just for someone to come and help from time to time, or some support with school runs, so I can have some time to sort myself out, to go and get the treatment that I need day to day and things like that. She, they could have helped her, even if they temporarily removed us from her care. And which they did. They had, my grandmother was already with us, because at that point my grandmother had found out shit had hit the fan. So she flies in the next day. Grandmas, they're heroes. Flies in the next day, and that was it. The house went from chaos, because as much as we did our best as young teenagers, we didn't know how to do this. Like, there's 7 of us. What's going on? There was, the ironing was always on point. Everything. My grandma just came in, and the house ran like clockwork. We were all happier, But my mum needed help, and when she went to approach the system, I call it the system, for help, they let her down, and they let us down. They failed her. They absolutely failed her, and they approached it in such a way they shouldn't have. This woman, is human, okay? Yes, she chose to have her children. Yes, she chose to leave my dad. Yes, that's all great. but she's human, and we pay taxes into this system for a reason. Do you understand? It's to help people that are vulnerable and that can't help themselves. So they didn't help. They made it worse for us, and they made our life a living hell, and basically put all my siblings in care. Me and my sister were old enough to live alone, and completely removed us from my grandma, who was more than capable. My grandma was in her early 70s at the time, just about turned 70. So she and my grandma, if you see her now, fittest woman I know. That woman can walk from here to Timbuktu and back. Like she is. God has blessed her. Amen. And please keep blessing her. I need her around.
Amen.
But and they just were like, no, like even if they said we could stay with grandma in your household and we'll send someone to help with the cleaning, the ironing, the food shopping, no. And they just completely failed her. And I think that, with coupled with her grief for her dad, there's so many things that contributed to her downfall and her deterioration. These people kill people. Like, you people don't help them. Do something that's going to support them to get back to what they need to be for their children and for their households. And they didn't do that. And they separated my siblings, put them in care. And I remember when I got the phone call, and I swear, man, I don't think I've ever felt that angry. Even to this day, I don't think I've ever felt that angry. Like, I was like, they're what? Taking whose siblings? Why? From the school gate as well. What? I got to that school so quick, I just missed them. Because they weren't taking my siblings on my watch. When my grandma's like, we have to just we comply. And no, we don't. Like, I'd rather go live in a hut with them somewhere and hide them than that. That's mad. I was like, no. I was like 18 at the time. Anyway, separated them. In comes my aunt, straight from, where was she at the time? I think she was living in India, New Delhi. She works for the United Nations. She's a diplomat, so they post her in different places. And as her and my mum had their differences. They really had their differences. But family is family.
Yeah, like my mum and my aunt, but
when it comes to the kids, my aunt came in, adopted, took all 5 of them. They're good, and they got, it doesn't change the fact that they lost their mum, but good educations, good bringing up. Me and my sister Jade had to stay here and get on with it. And now they're all here in uni. So thank you to my uncle and my auntie for what they done. They saved my siblings. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Them and my grandma, because I don't know what my brothers would have been doing if they stayed here in care. I don't know what my sisters would have turned out to be. Do you know what I mean? And they wouldn't let me adopt them at my age. So
the system, yeah, I'm telling you, man.
There was too many of us.
That's why family is everything.
So important.
Family is everything. Like, even just like, as much as like, I'm always, when people, how do you do it? How do you do it? And I'm not like an ego guy. I'm like, but listen, something I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I think like, right, am I really here? Am I still all here? Like, the part of me still, because I'm always like, my aunt, honestly, that woman, like, God bless her, like, and. But like I said to you when we was earlier, apartment, but my mental health is like this. As much as like I am like, doing, but it's like, sometimes I fear for my own, like, again, I'm not feeding any type, but I'm just saying sometimes, like,
even stop saying that, because saying that, just talk honestly.
Like,
let's have that mental health dialogue.
Sometimes I don't even, I fear for myself. I don't know what's gonna, I've dealt with so much already, and I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm so strong to deal with anything that comes my way. I don't want to deal with any more grief. I know it's part of life. I know that people come and go.
Do you feel like have you ever felt like you're gonna lose your mind?
Yeah. Because not only that, because apart from my parents, other grief as well. It's like, besides my parents, it was my granddad in 2016. 2018, it was a friend of mine.
Yeah, I lost a friend.
A friend of mine, we're just like, I remember. 2 months before, we went to a party. I was like, yeah, listen, make sure you go home alright. We'll link up again. 2 months later, and I'm like, we're the same age. And I think that one kind of hit me mad, because like, how do I describe it? It's like, that's a close one, because literally, not only like I know like people pass away, parents, grandparents, but it's even people our age now, and that's scary. Do you know what I mean? It's like, usually we don't hear people our age passing away. It's like, but it's scary, but it makes me realize, listen, that there's no kind of, oh yeah, I'll only go for the older generation. It's everyone. No one's it's not limited to everyone. And we know it's gonna happen, basically. But it's still scary. Yeah. I'm like, shit, there's only really one life, and literally we don't know when it's our last. So, like, one thing I'm thankful of, like, it's weird. I'm an affectionate person, but I wasn't really affectionate with my mum. Like with my mum, it was more so like, what do you need? I'm gonna go do it. More acts of service as opposed to like,
Okay, that's a love language.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the day my mum went to Nigeria, I gave her a hug. I'm glad I did because I didn't know that would be my last hug. And I remember the last time I spoke to her, she asked us, "Oh, is everything okay? Is there food in the house? Is everything?" No, oh yeah, mum, we're good. That's it. So I'm like, I'm glad I had those last, those kind of final moments and stuff. And again with my boy who passed, I'm glad I had that. So like now, and I've said this numerous times. That's why I'm just more listening. I'll be more appreciative. Even when I go out with friends now, you don't get home alright.
Yeah, I'm
cool,
so.
safe.
Trust me, I love
even if it's 20 minutes away, like I'll do that because it's just like, oh, thank you for this, thank you for that. I
just love mine. I agree with you. I live in a way where, like, and I'm not perfect because like friends, I know I can be like, you know what I'm saying, but I try to live like that. Like I got a message from a friend last night saying how much she appreciates me, like for always pulling her up when she's down and things like that. And like just and she's a new friend as well. She's not even like, I've got like my best friends have been my friends for like 15 plus years. Whereas like, when new people say it to you, or like a colleague, do you know what I mean? It means a lot. Like it still means a lot when your close people do, but it's like to me, I appreciate that, and I don't do it to get it back, and I don't do it for that. But I appreciate that acknowledgement because I'm genuinely doing this like literally from my heart. Like anything I do for people, like it's because I love you and I'm grateful for you. And I think that's shit. I'm gonna tell you straight. That bit about mum passing is shit. I was at her house a week before trying to get through to. She knew I was coming up as usual. Sometimes this is what she does. She's gone to the drink, probably got a couple beers in the hour I've driven up to her because she used to live in East London. I live in Northwest, so after work, grabbed my son, drove up there in this bullshit traffic. It was raining. My son was in the back, hungry and annoying me, and because you know what kids are like, like it's like 1 second, and so it's like I gotta go. I've got to feed my child, get him home in bed. I was literally outside her house for like 20 minutes to half an hour. Just like the light was on, she wouldn't open the door. She wasn't answering her phone call. The phone neighbors said they couldn't see her. They hadn't seen her, But then one said that they saw her go to the shops. I'm like, surely she's gonna come back. She'll be back soon. I waited there for like half an hour, probably longer. Nothing. There was not even no movement past that window. And the coroner told us that mum passed away anytime between the 25th of December and 5 days prior. And so I could have saved my mum because I was there pretty much just before it sounds like in terms of the timeline she passed away. Or maybe she was already up there like that and I didn't know. But that fucks me up, man. I'm so sorry, but it proper does. Like it's the thought of what if, like, I just stayed there and just told the neighbour to let me in the main door and just kicked open the door or something, or maybe called my uncle. But because my mum did that so much to me, and then the next day would call me and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," and that's like, you was like drinking and you just didn't want me to see you like that because you know what you're gonna hear, innit? I'm gonna empty out all the bottles. You're coming with me, I like that. We're not doing this. Do you understand? And so that burns me. That burns me so much. Even when I got on the plane, and like I said to you, the plane's even taking off, and I'm ringing my mum throughout that entire airport run, and I'm even on the plane. I'm still calling. I still have all her voicemails on my phone. I still have books where she's written notes and notes about, but I can't read all of it because it's very painful stuff, and I don't want to live in that space with her anymore. I think that you're no longer in pain anymore, mentally or physically, and you are at peace now. I don't want to relive that because I ultimately feel like me reading that stuff or reflecting on the negative is not exactly keeping her memory alive the way it should be. I feel like she experienced enough pain here on earth, and I think spiritually, I'm not very religious, but I'm very spiritual. I think that my vibration needs to be different towards her while she's dead. Does that make sense? So she can rest in peace, ultimately. Like, and so I hope she is, and I hope that proud of us, and
I mean, but would you say that relieves you of the guilt in some way?
No, I haven't relieved myself of any of the guilt. That I haven't at all. I can't. I'm in therapy for it, so hopefully that will help. Hopefully time will help. Um, but yeah, I just, you can be there 95% of the time for someone, and that 5% that you weren't there will burn the shit out of you.
Mm.
So it's just I think it's part of also. I think it's one. You know what it made me realize that I'm a lot more in tune with my emotions, or a lot more sensitive than I actually thought I was. I didn't think I was a very sensitive person, but
I know I'm sometimes like too sensitive, man. It's like
what would you consider too sensitive?
I don't know. It's just like now it's like little. I don't know. Little like I don't know. I have disputes with friends and family and stuff, but any little dispute was just like nah. I'm not trying to. I want to be on like. I just never wanna. I never wanna be on bad terms with anyone. But I know life doesn't work like that.
Just
You're gonna
doesn't.
have disagreements. You're gonna have. But I think one thing I'm realizing now that as long as on your part, always try to resolve things you can resolve. Don't go to as they say, go to bed angry with someone or whatever. Like I have like now I have no pride. Like before, I'm not messing them. Why? Because so they can think this and that. No, if I'm thinking about someone, I'm just checking in on you, even if I don't get a reply, or if I'm thinking to call
Yeah, but
someone,
you're
I don't.
doing that with people that you can have no pride with. You see me, I'm okay to be vulnerable with the people that I
Yeah,
know I can trust and I feel safe with. But you see strangers or like even dating, that's a difficult one for
yeah,
me,
yeah.
you
Nah,
know?
that,
Oh my
see
days.
that
I
one
can't.
that's a
We,
hard one.
mm-mm.
That's a hard
Like
one.
letting people in, because I've let, after my like son's dad, we were together for 10 years and he's actually born on the same day as my mum, my son's dad.
Oh wow.
It's mad, isn't it?
Oh
I
wow.
know. And then we split up 3 years ago,
Yeah,
so pretty much just before she passed away.
yeah,
And he so after him I dated someone else seriously, and anyone that I just feel like, just like you were explaining that thing, that burden, I'm with you on that, and it takes the right person. And so now I'm so guarded that I'm almost, I don't not I'm proud because I'm trying to protect myself.
yeah,
Does
yeah.
that
But
make
at the same
sense?
time, it's kind of finding that balance.
Yeah. But that's the issue though, is I don't know if you've noticed, but there's something really fucked up about our generation. Like,
Where
I
do
don't
we
know if you've noticed
where
that.
where
Like,
do we start,
where do we
man?
start?
What
So,
do you mean generally or just in terms of dating?
generally, dating, everything, because people are not like me and you. I
But
don't think
what do you think? What do you think is that one of the most like messed up things
people
with
are
us?
fucked up, man. Like, see, like me, yeah. And again, I'm not thinking expecting anyone to live by my standard or judging people because they don't fit my how I am,
Yeah.
right? Like, you can't match my thing and my thing separate, yeah. But what I'm saying,
So separately.
but what I'm saying is, um, like, people are pricks, man. I can't explain it. Like, people have no empathy these days. Like, you don't need to pity to have empathy. You don't sympathize with me. Just show empathy. Like, people, like, men are like out to like get what, like, I can't explain it. I don't know if you like looking for mums. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it's like, that's why when I talk to people like you, and then like I compare you, I guess, and I shouldn't do that, but against men that have their mums, it's like, look at this done. And then look how moist you lot that have your mums around move. Like, you get it?
Stop
Like,
it, stop it. You're making
sorry,
you blush,
but
you're making you blush,
do
you're
you see
making
what
you
I'm
blush.
saying? Like, that's what I mean, though. Like, look how we've been able to have this. I can't, there's men I date. I could never have this conversation with them. I'm not, I'm not expecting someone to feel comfortable with me. Like, I was never going to sit down and be like, and expect someone to carry my grief and, go to my therapy sessions with me. And I'm not like that. Like, I'm not like that. Yeah, man, a bad man. Okay? Like, thanks. You get it? Like, so I'm not any little eject. Like, do you get it?
Yeah.
So, and it's not even about being an eject, but it's like, just because I'm not as sensitive as other women doesn't, you know what they try to do? Like, they think they're like, I feel like use that. That's why I don't like telling people about it. They either use it against me or they use it as a point of my vulnerability. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I get that. Yeah, see that's some of the things I used to fear as well, because I think with me I'm just always of this mindset of like I don't want anyone to kind of feel sorry for me or use anything against him. But because of what you said, maybe like it's not, if someone's doing it, then that's not the right person.
Yeah, that's why you leave them where they are. Yeah.
But I'm not even saying I'm perfect, but I do feel like one thing for me is that I take accountability of my own actions or how I am, and I get everything's balanced. Of course, if you're too emotional, it's always gonna be too much of something isn't always good. I'm not saying that every
Balance is key.
like
I agree
I'm not
with
so person like every given moment. Even like when I like 2015, any little thing with my mum, I'm triggered. Of course, it was still fresh, but now most I can conversate about it, like which I feel like is good, but I feel like does that make me a bit weird because I can just talk about death so freely, but this is what I'm trying to do, and I'm just trying to like I'm not saying I'm trying to be some messiah, but if I can help start
I think this is dope. What you're
have
doing,
this platform and get more people because in turn it helps them and realize look, listen, we're not all in this alone. Like I know our grief is different,
yeah.
can't always relate, but if we can talk.
It opens up the conversation though, doesn't it? Because we don't have those conversations, I don't think, often. We don't talk enough about mental health. We don't talk enough about what causes poor mental health, such as grief, such as whatever. Sometimes it's not even something as deep as grief. It could even be something light, and that's okay. Like, it could even that you just feel it's a collective of small things that have, I'm trying to say, like, you've collectively gathered these things and now it's an accumulative type of
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Drop. Like, that's okay. Whatever it is, even if it's not an accumulation, even if it's just one thing that broke the camel's back. Like, but we need to, I respect this so much because to see a black man trying to have these conversations and coming from a place of experience, like you've not lost one parent, you've lost both. And the circumstances, the time frame, like that's heavy. And so to do what you're doing, it's so refreshing, it's dope, it's encouraging, it's inspiring even because like there's going to be, like you said, men of all ages, even if they're not black, that are going to be able to listen to this conversation and understand that it's okay to talk about it, and even the way you're speaking about it, like even if you didn't speak about it in such a, should I say, productive way, because you've spoken about it in such a productive way where it's like as a matter of fact, right, we're having a conversation. But typically people think when you're speaking about grief, you're just going to be here with snot bubble. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's also okay.
Yeah, like or just loads of tissues around.
Yeah,
like.
but actually, I've teared up a couple times, but actually we can have this dialogue. And appreciate what we get from this dialogue. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Exactly. Like this is, you're not only informing, you're educating, but you're welcoming that conversation in our community as a young black man. That's dope. Like,
I appreciate that, and I appreciate you for coming on because again I know like it's not given like when you haven't really spoken about it so openly. So I do appreciate that.
Calm, man.
And I do just hope like.
People might think we're mad that we can even. It's true. Like it's true though. We're probably speaking about it like it's
like it's so like refreshing because I'm always like for me, like I said to you before we was coming, like I don't know how people are gonna feel, but all I can do is ask, and I'm not even if you did say like I don't want to talk, that's cool.
I was honoured that you asked.
It's not a problem. I'm not that. My thing is that like I'm not worried about that because I know like. What I'm trying to do is, I don't have ego. If someone says no, they don't. That's fine.
That's fine. It's not even about ego. If some people are not comfortable talking about it, some people don't want to talk about it, and that's okay, isn't it? So I like the fact that you have that stance and you see it that way. And I think that whoever says yes is meant to be is meant to do it.
So I do appreciate that, and like, I just hope that with you, everything you've said to me like it's been inspiring, and I know like with grief, it's not always like like a happy ending, but you're working on the things you're working on. Do you know what I mean? And it isn't to say that like of course things will get better. Whatever happiness looks like to you, that's.
I am worried about this bit of your mental health. So I feel like we need to have a private conversation
about
how you're gonna address this becoming this.
I'm starting therapy next week again.
Fantastic.
I did it the first time and.
It didn't resonate then.
I didn't really feel so. I'm excited to see like hopefully this time. Again, I'm not seeing that. I know it's not gonna like it's like a one or fix everything, but I know like just to supplement me doing the work and because I know it is like as much as I'm saying it's like that. One thing I don't want. I know we're all gonna go in it. One thing I don't want is just like how can I put it that doesn't sound so messed up. I don't want to die of poor mental health.
Neither do I. My biggest fear
do you know what I mean?
like my mom,
so if I feel like that's why I'm doing things like okay, like reaching out to people to have conversations about this, making sure I'm doing work on myself personally, making sure like I'm being that always being like appreciative of the people around me, even if it's a random text of someone. I appreciate you. Did you get what I'm saying? I'll keep doing that. I don't have no. I'm not someone. I feel like maybe I'm going off on one, but just to wrap up. But I feel like a lot of the time, like. I don't want to say it's a like our culture, our community, but there's always a lot of pride. No, I don't want to do that. I'm too, but I'm not really fussed with all that.
I respect that.
Like you know what I mean. If not everyone must like me, that's okay. Innit? It's not the end of the world, isn't it? But as long as I know that I'm not like having regrets or I'm doing things I want to do, like. And again, even just like I'll be honest, even reaching out to you, I thought I don't know, like doesn't really know me from Adam, but but
As I said to you, whoever
luckily
says
he's
yes
trying
is
it.
meant to be
Luckily-
here, isn't it? Yeah.
luckily
I like
he's
a
trying.
couple. Like I get requests for podcasts, like appearances and stuff like that, quite often. But you always just know when it's the right one to do. Does that make sense? And for me, this means something to me. I may not have this conversation every day in my day-to-day life with my people and like stuff like that, but this one means something to me, not just because of grief, but because of mental health. And it's something that I'm so passionate about and I advocate for so much now. Whatever your capacity is, whether it's a light depression to a severe one, whether it's schizophrenia, whether it's bipolar, whatever it is, I want to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So however I can, even if it means helping others understand mental health, a bit poor mental health. Because people say mental health, but it's we need to make it clear. There's nothing wrong with mental health. Yeah, everyone's got mental health. It's poor mental health. That's the implication here. So, yeah. Thank you for having me.
No,
it's been a blessing to have this conversation. I've needed it more than you know. Trust me.
I'm glad it's helped. And well, last, anything you want to plug? Anything that you're working on or?
Oh God, there's a few things.
No pressure. No pressure.
So, first I want to plug my sister, my artist, Amani Talitha. She has a new single out called "Who's Got the Keys." Please stream it, listen to it, share it, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. She's amazing, an amazing young woman, with a phenomenal talent. And I'm Safira Ocean. You can follow me on Instagram, Safira Ocean.
Is Ocean a month? Is that what's that word? Sorry, I know I just interrupted you.
A nickname?
No, yeah, isn't it?
It's
I thought
my real name. It's not. Nah, it's not.
It sounds sick though.
Thank you. Safira is. Ocean actually came from my son's father because of how much I love water.
Oh,
like my mum.
So Ocean.
Yeah, I had my son in water and everything.
So that's your last. That's not your last.
No, it's not my actual last name. But I would actually change my last name. Not my dad's last name. I would keep my dad's. But I
figured it was still.
Nah, but yeah, and so he actually is like, you in this water, like you're always in the sea. You're always. Do you know what I mean? Like I loved it. That's when I'm most at peace. Is in the sea. If you see me in the sea, I'll give you my whole life when I'm in there. You know, like that. Okay. It's just I love that place and. It's where my mum loved, and like from 3 months old, we go to the same beach every year in Portugal.
Yeah.
And I've done the same thing with my son since he was 6 months old. We managed to miss this year because of this silly pandemic, but whatever. And so Ocean, the name just has so many variances, like for me, so many meanings, like to me. And so, so anyway. And I was gonna say something cheeky.
Sorry,
it's not the time for that. It's cool.
I threw you off.
It's fine. So anyway,
feel free.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. It's fine. We'll have that out.
Okay, cool.
But I will be working on a 7-part mental health series where I interview a range of different people. First, it will be people of influence currently.
Nice.
So. People, not so much influencers, but yes, actually influencers who have experienced or are currently experiencing poor mental health. So I'll have 7 different guests from the Black community to speak on, and it's just like this.
Yeah.
A conversation.
When is that? I mean, can you share when it drops?
I cannot.
Okay, cool.
However, soon. Look out for it.
Yeah.
It will be somewhere early next year.
Nice.
And I will definitely keep you all posted. And I'm looking forward to that because I look forward to talk to them. And I think after that point, depending on, and I think it will be received well, especially because of the people I'll be talking to and the type of conversation we want to have. And then after that, it will be people, us normal people. You know, I want to tap into. Good. So. Yeah, and I'm hoping to. So that will be me, and then I'm hoping to follow through into completing sort of my podcast series as well. So yeah, thank you.
Nice, appreciate that. Well, those listening, watching, listen, I enjoyed this convo.
So did I.
Went over time a bit, but yeah, it happens. It happens, you know. But follow us on Instagram, @BeingOutLoudPod_. YouTube, subscribe, watch, like, comment. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. One.
I don't know how you remember all this stuff.
Nah, I forgot the third one now. Right, let me start again, okay?
Start again.
Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and if you listen to Apple Podcasts, leave a review, subscribe, rate, all that good stuff. But no, honestly, thank you, man.
Oh, thank you,
I appreciate it.
This is dope.
I enjoyed it. And yeah, that's that.